It's James Fathers Rights and Resources, hashtag how I got custody. Tonight I was doing an Instagram live and I kind of got, I screwed up and cut myself off from being able to repost it. So there was a couple comments at the end. I did a video on one of them. Here's the other comment that is another myth and occultic false doctrine out there that, oh, well, there's different things and different laws in different counties and that makes it all real different. And some people say, well, you had it easy because you had a situation where it just worked out for you and all that stuff. Bull crap. Bull crap, bull crap. First of all, the people who are telling me the laws are different in each state, how many different state laws have you studied? You're just making up bull crap you're in your feelings. You're making up stuff that you feel is real. I've been helping people for 20 years all across the country. And I've had some consultations with people in Europe, Canada, and Australia. In Western civilization, the courts are pretty much all the same. If you go, if you have, like high school football, college football, different division of college football, and or if you're going to compare American basketball, European basketball, there's a couple different rules the same, but the game pretty much is played the way the game is played. If you have different wars in different countries, yeah, you have different strategies. In Afghanistan, you got to fight through caves and valleys and strategize different. But overall, the war games are still the war games. The most overpowering, sneaky person or sneaky country that has the most armament, the more stealth, sneaky attacks, and wears the other side down, gets the other side to surrender first. People love to come in the comments and have no clue what's going on in the court case or their situation, but they're an expert all of a sudden overall on how things work. The last video I did, a guy made a comment and he said, they say you shouldn't be too aggressive and it looks bad or it'll piss people off or hurt people's feelings. Okay, how many cases have you been through where that strategy worked? Again, I've been doing this 20 years. I have proof. I have street cred, or basically I have, I'm a 5-star general with whatever they put on the pockets of the generals, all those ribbons and little buttons and stuff like that. I have battle scars. I show you my winning arguments, and you're going to come up here and tell me what the laws say in all the other states, and you haven't studied a damn thing in your own state? Come on, man. Some of you guys need to wake the hell up to reality, use some damn common sense, and know your place. You come in here totally lost, and you're commenting on why you should come with a soft, gentle, sissy little coward approach to everything. And the only thing that worked for me was getting on the offensive and not stopping. Because this is a war of attrition. 95% of cases settle out of court. Whoever's been on the offensive and wearing the other side down the most, that's the one who usually prevails and gets most of what they want, because the other side just cowers and surrenders faster. But if guys would just get on the offensive and do stuff the way that's worked for thousands of other cases, if they just half-ass did what I did, half of your cases would be over in a month. Not everybody, but everybody would rather sit in their comfort zone and not do anything and not get on the offensive and not go to war. And then you stay in your comfort zone, but you suffer the torment of not seeing your kids. And then in the end, you lose and you suffer even more for years and years. And why there's guys, all they did was lift a finger for a couple of weeks and got off their rear and did a couple things. All of a sudden, their case is over while you're sitting here saying, I want to sit on my couch and be comfortable. And then some people say, well, and I've heard that several different times. The laws are different. Well, first of all, what the hell is your point? The laws are different. Okay, well, if you're in Washington, study Washington law. If you're in Minnesota, study Minnesota. So you're saying that me being aggressive and being on the defensive and studying the law and aggressively fighting in light of the law doesn't work in your state? Go and be aggressive and study the law in your state and apply that law and aggressively advocate for yourself and aggressively fight on behalf of the law. When people say that, you are sounding so freaking stupid and asinine and idiotic and such a sissy little punk. And you have no, you're just operating on your feelings. That's what's so insane about this. When people come with this stupid ass, ignorant dogma about some stupid, ignorant bullcrap. Okay, so let's say, okay, the laws are totally different in each state. What does that got to do with what you still have to do? You still have to study the law in your state, and then you have to fight for your case on behalf on yourself in light of the law. So what was your point? People love to tell me, well, the law is different. You had it easier. You had an unbiased judge or whatever. First of all, your presumptuous judgment of me, know-it-all, Miss Cleo, crystal ball reading, omnipresent, ubiquitous God, knowing everything. How do you even know what the hell happened in my case? You don't have a clue. You're just presuming that like a hater, like a crybaby wimp who doesn't want to fight and is mad that I went through hell and overcame it, and you didn't lift a finger, and you were being a little sissy little bee throughout your whole case, and you lost or you got creamed. And it's because you lost and got creamed. Like, just think if somebody just dances around with Mike Tyson and doesn't aggressively go in there and fight and swing and defend and move around, and he gets knocked the hell out, and he gets broken teeth. And then Buster Douglas goes and wins, and he gets on the offensive, and he gets in there, he gets knocked down, he gets back up, and he's not scared of Mike Tyson. Like, well, he just got lucky. Bull crap. You're a hater little bitch. The reality of the laws being different in the states is that the laws aren't that different. Every single state, first of all, says the best interest of the child. And that's the number one argument that I talk about. I have videos on it, and I break it down. The best interest of the child. What's the best interest of the child? It's whatever's best for a kid. Well, where do you get the idea for that? The science says everywhere in the world that children need both parents. All the science, all the data. It doesn't matter what the laws in the state are anymore. Once you establish, okay, the law is the best interest of the child, every state has that. That's the number one factor they have to go off of. That's the overriding factor. So really, you're lying when you tell me the laws are different. It's so enraging how stupid my gender is. You're so freaking stupid. You don't have my sister with Down syndrome can look at laws in different states and see they're only tweaked a little bit. And she can look and recognize every single state says the best. So that tells me, first of all, people who say that, you didn't even read the damn laws. You're just making that up because you just assume that they're different. When the best interest of the child is written in every single state. You can't find a state where it doesn't say the best interest of the child. If you do, correct me, and I'll admit I'm wrong. I've seen that in every single state. They may have changed that. There might be something different in some state. It says the best interest everywhere, something along that almost exact line. So they're not different because the overriding major law is the best interest. And what's the best interest? It's the science. It's the data. It's the government's data. It's the data that's in several different studies. I have a few links to those studies. Boom. So dumbasses get on here and make comments, and they don't even listen to what I'm saying, and they're telling me what they know, and then they admit they're totally in the dark, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about, and they're totally lost. And on top of that, they're losers because they've lost their case, and they're sitting there telling me, a winner who's helped guys get full custody without an attorney in just about every state in the country. I stopped counting at 300 the number of guys I helped get full custody. Your attorney hasn't done jack shit for 5 guys. And you're sitting there telling me because you listened to your attorney one time, and because you're in your feelings, and because you have a lot of feminine energy, and you only go off of what feels good, what you heard, what peer pressure says, and you don't read a damn thing yourself, you don't pay attention to a damn thing that I say, and you come on my page and you're going to school me on the legal system. After how many people do you go up to who have 20 years experience, 20 times the experience you have in anything, and you tell them where they're right or they're wrong because you're guessing what's out there? Almost every state has a law that says when there's domestic violence, when there's emotional abuse, when there's sexual abuse, and when you're living in a violent home, we are here to protect children. So basically, actually, you're a liar. And you're coming on my page saying, well, the laws are different because you're some expert. You're lying because the most important, the major, most important laws that they focus on are all the same in all the states. Then you have some states like Washington has abusive use of conflict is a reason to limit a parent's visitation. That's when they take conflict to an abusive level. Oh well, or they're fighting. They abuse the court system, or they're like, I don't like your new girlfriend, so I'm going to keep the kids from you. Or they fight all the time and they turn conflict into an abusive thing. Every state has an issue. Probably, maybe I don't think Texas mentions it. But they still say it. Like Texas says in the Hawley factors, it says acts of a parent or omissions of a parent that show the parent-child relationships an inappropriate one. So acts and omissions, that could be anything. That could be alienating. That could be withholding. That could be talking bad about the other parent. That could be with undermining the other parent's authority. That could be coaching the children. But in Washington State, it says, psychologically or emotionally abusing the children. So you can find a law that talks about whatever your issue is. You can find a law that applies. So you're full of shit when you come on my page and you say, well, the laws are different and it's different in each state, blah, blah, blah. And that's why you won, because the laws are favorable to you. And you didn't read a damn single thing what you're talking about. And you're like a lawyer. You're defending the corrupt system and saying why guys should be punk ass bitches and not fight. Because, it's just different. Well, what are you saying? Then what's the answer? Like the haters and the critics and the overly sensitive, feminine, bitch-made men out there who won't want to fight for their kids, when I got a proven track record, I got testimonials, I got guys winning because they decide, you know what, I'm sick and tired of being a punk. I'm sick and tired of getting ran over. You and other guys like you, I'm just talking about whoever thinks this. It was brought up in a comment. And if you bring up a comment to me and you're full of shit, and you're lying, or you're being a punk ass bitch, and you have Stockholm syndrome with your attorney, and you want to cling to your losing attorney ways. See, some of you guys, it's insane. You have an attorney who lost, and your attorney tells you something, and you treat it like gospel truth, and your attorney lost. And then you come on and criticize me, saying, "Oh, we can't do what you did because you got custody because your laws are different, and you got custody because you had an unbiased judge, and you got custody for hundreds of other guys in other states, but it doesn't apply in my state because my state is a pro-woman state." They're all pro-women states. It's almost like you guys just want to cling to an excuse to continue to lay down. I confront people and say, "Grow some balls, you're being a bitch." "Oh, well, you did it because of this and because of that. And I want to keep being a little bitch, so I don't want to listen to what you have to say." Now, the person who made the comment, like I said before, they may have just making the comment, this is what everybody says, this is what everybody thinks, this is what the lawyer thinks. Okay, if that was the point, great. But there's a bunch of people out there who believe that stuff. Why do you give a damn what somebody thinks about you when it comes to your life with your kids? Why do you give a damn whether somebody theorizes the laws are different, or don't listen to James, even though he won, even though he's helped thousands of guys win without a lawyer? You should cling to a lawyer. James is full of crap because that just doesn't sound right, because you got royally screwed when you half-assed it and when you were being a cowardly bitch and you were afraid to stand up for yourself. How well has it worked for you not aggressively fighting? When the law and the factors in the law say a child abuser, somebody with mental illness, did you even know what the laws in your state are, what the statute is? I mean, California, New York, Florida, Minnesota, Michigan, off the top of my Texas, Washington, Oregon. Most of their statutes are kind of the same. Florida's one of the great ones that has, right off the bat, they say if one parent, they have to consider which parent is more likely to facilitate a loving relationship with the other parent. A parent alienator loses on that. But each state has a law that kind of says that anyway. Emotionally abusing the children, manipulating the children, all this stuff. It's all the same. So you're lying. I'm sick. I can't stand liars. I can't stand fake people. I can't stand people who confidently talk about something when they don't know what the hell they're talking about. They didn't read a damn thing, and they're going off of what the news said, what the rumors say. Real men don't do that punk ass bitch bullcrap. That's for feminine little gossiping little bitches. I don't do that on this channel. And that's why I'm not popular, because I'm not going to come here and be fake. I can be fake and phony like the lead attorney and get up here and talk all this crap about I support men. And then I'll give a Freudian slip and say, I used to love destroying men who were representing themselves. So anyway, the laws are different in each state, bullshit. And even the tweaks and difference, they still cover the same thing.